everybody, I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics! All right, everybody, welcome to another fun-filled edition of Kids Financial Literacy Fridays with KiddieNomics. And we have a uber special guest today. We're going to talk about how to get media attention for all you kiddipreneurs out there that have started your businesses and want to get some media attention for your business, and how to, get on maybe a TV show or get in an article, how to go about doing that. And that is going to be with the most knowledgeable and the most amazing Kristina Morgan. So we are so happy to have her on KiddieNomics today, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. So before we get started, Miss Kristina, hi, everybody. I see everybody saying hi. All right. Let me share my screen as usual, and then we'll get started, right? There we go. All right. So everybody can see my screen. Yay. All right. So welcome to KiddieNomics. First of all, let's welcome all the new kiddies that have registered in the past week. Welcome to KiddieNomics. If this is your first time on KiddieNomics, don't worry. We are super nice here, and we try to keep it a very fun and healthy and safe environment. So the kids will welcome you in the chat box. If you say, this is my first time, they'll welcome you. And of course, welcome back to all our returning kiddies that's here week after week, right? We love you for being here. We love you guys for our KiddieNomics community. It is such a fantastic community. So we love you guys for always coming back week after week, right? So let's get started. First of all, what is KiddieNomics? So KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8 to 13 to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a successful financial future. That's what we want for you. That's what I want for you. That's what she wants for me. That's what we want for everybody, right? No matter where you come from, no matter how much money you have or don't have, we want everybody to have a great financial future. And financial literacy is the key to get you there. Okay, so we're going to do some housekeeping items as we usually do. Please remember that each and every KiddieNomics webinar is recorded. Okay, so we are recording this webinar, and then I do post the webinar to our YouTube channel. So if you go to our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, you can check out this webinar and all of the other webinars that we have had on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. This webinar in particular will be posted by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that'll be 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time, so you can always watch it back in case you missed anything or you came a little bit late. You can always watch it back and hopefully answer any other questions that we may have missed. You'll see it in the presentation, right? And of course, we always want to remind our kids that we love to see a very safe and healthy environment here. So remember our online money smarts with Miss Hadriana Leo, and we talked about, maintaining your privacy. So we never want to see anything like your phone numbers,
ages,
phone numbers, email addresses, personal addresses, nothing about anything personal that can identify you. Because we want to keep you guys safe, right, on KiddieNomics. So we never want to see that in the chat. Please remember, in the chat, we have kids of different ages. Some of them are younger than 8 or 8, and some of them are 13 and could be older. So please respect that everybody's question is welcomed, and we welcome all questions, and just keep in mind that there are different ages. So some kids are younger, some kids are older. So we respect everybody's questions and sometimes answers, right? Okay, so did I forget anything?
Yes, you did.
I forgot roll call. All right, so let's do roll call. Let me open up my chat box. Oh, speaking about the chat box, right? Let's talk about that chat box today. Speaking about the chat box, remember that the chat box is there for you guys to communicate. So you'll be able to ask and answer any questions and there's put in the chat box. If you do raise your hand, that's cool, but raise your hand and then put your question or answer in the chat box. Like Hazette, I see that you just raised your hand, but you got to put your question in the chat box. Okay. Now let's do roll call. Tell me, which country are you guys joining us from today? Jenna, Canada. Akira, Canada. Nelma, Canada. Isha, Canada. Savannah and Sanaya, Canada. Layla, Canada. Andrea, Canada. Althea, hi Althea, Canada. Edric, Canada. Raheem, Canada. Godswill, Canada. Woohoo! Canada's representing today. Did I miss a country that's not Canada today? Let me see. Nope, I don't think so. We have all Canadians in the building. Oh, I think Joshua's saying Asgard. Akira, now you're from Jupiter. Awesome. We love Asgard because we love Thor, God of Thunder. We love all Marvel movies. So we get that one, Joshua. All right, so thanks for roll call, everybody.
Of course, everybody. You forgot me. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Forget me.
But you should just say it. Sorry. Okay. Can't forget, Nikki. Which country are you coming from today?
Japan.
Japan. That's cool. Yeah, because she likes anime. So.
No, but like not. I just like the food.
She likes their food,
Yeah,
and she likes their cartoons and stuff like that. So, all right, good job. She's from Japan today. Sounds good. All right, so let's get into our special guest. Today, we welcome Miss Kristina Morgan. She's a communications professional who has worked in the fields of communications and public relations for more than 10 years here in Canada and Jamaica. Whoop, whoop. Presently, she is responsible for developing communication strategies that help advance small businesses. These strategies include the development of publications, partnerships with membership organizations, web marketing, social media, media outreach, events, and reviews. Ms. Morgan is also a part-time instructor at the University of the West Indies. Does anybody know that university? Does anybody else online know that university? Put a yes in the chat box if you've ever heard of the University of the West Indies. Nope.
You never told me, so how am I supposed to know?
Oh, it's in Jamaica, but it is in other islands too in the Caribbean. Godswill says no, Ronell says no. That's okay, it's a great university. Yes, as of now, says Althea Jones. So yeah, you see, already learning something. All right, let me move this chat box out of the way. All right. Let's see, where did I end? West Indies, teaching coursework for public relations and marketing for educational organizations. Before consulting, Ms. Morgan was a communications manager at a hospitality workers training center in Ontario, where she helped raise the organization's, oh, this is just a typo, profile in the media with CBC, Now Toronto, Blog TO, and more. So as you can see, Miss Morgan has a wealth of knowledge and has worked with a wealth amount of companies from here to other countries. So this is so awesome. And I'm so happy that we could get her on KiddieNomics. So everybody please give a big, let me just stop this. There we go. Let's give a big KiddieNomics round of applause. The kids say welcome, Miss Kristina. Clap, 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 says Isha.
Hi, guys.
Awesome. There we go. We can hear you now.
Okay, I'm just getting my presentation going.
Awesome. Let me just get this out of the way and open up the chat box. Okay. All right, Miss Kristina, the floor is all yours.
Are you seeing the presentation? Yes, you are.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, everyone. I have to keep up the same energy as Stacy. Hi.
Yes, we do. We are all about high energy here on KiddieNomics.
So she said everything about me. So basically, I'm so looking forward to passing on my knowledge to young people. I've only done it with adults, so this will be interesting. I hope I made it very easy for you to understand. And I'm thinking that, Stacey, how does it work? Do they ask questions after the presentation or during? How does it work?
So they'll ask questions during the presentation.
Okay.
If you say something and the kids didn't understand, they'll ask for better
clarification. Okay.
And I'll ask you questions also.
Okay.
So as we go along, and then of course, if there's questions at the end.
So do you read the comments and tell me?
Yes, that's right. So you don't have to monitor chat box. I'll read the comments. When you see me raise my hand, that's because one of the kiddies have a question or I have a question.
Oh, I mean.
Or
Right.
Mickey has a question.
All right, so let's get started then. All right, so you know what? The only thing that she didn't mention is that I recently wrote a book, a children's book called Adventures of Nellie. So she basically spoke a lot about what I do. So I'm going to move on about me. Because it's not about me today, it's about public relations.
Well, you can tell us about your book
Afterwards, okay. So today's presentation, we will cover what is PR, public relations, what are the different types of public relations. Just one sec. The bar is, let's put the bar at the top, sorry. So what is public relations? What are the different types of public relations tools, and how to get public attention, and then 2 case studies of public relations, okay? So we're going to play a quick fun exercise. So in terms of public relations cover for corporate companies, and these are some corporate logos that I know that everybody should know. So comment below, or not comment below, comment in the box, tell us what this logo is. What does it represent? Stacey?
Yes, tell us what this is. So let me see, all the kids are typing in, everyone typed in. They already know this one. Savannah and Sanaya says Google, Jenna, Google, Farah, Google.
Right, let's move on to the next one.
Google. Raheem, Google, Isha, Google, Peter, Google, Mickey, Google. Yep, everybody got it.
And next one, yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation, first one to type that in. Woohoo!
Good job.
Tiffany, PlayStation, yay! PlayStation,
Disney.
PlayStation. Oh, Mickey got Disney first. Woohoo!
I also got Google.
Oh, that's true, you did.
McDonald's. I had it.
McDonald's, Jenna, McDonald's, Layla, McDonald's, Peter, McDonald's, Tulu, hey Tulu, McDonald's, Akira, McDonald's.
Amazon.
You're not even giving the other kids a chance. Mickey, Amazon, has that, Amazon, Peter, Godswell, Janaya, Amazon.
Netflix.
Oh, let's see, Netflix. Okay, who typed that in? Let me see, Netflix, Jenna, Netflix, Andrea, Netflix.
All right, so that was a fun activity. You see, we didn't have any names. I use their logos only, and you guys could have identified it quite easily. So these big corporations, guess what? They use public relations. They use different things, but they also have to have PR as part of their strategy to get messages out there about themselves. So what is PR? Public relations is about, here are these keywords: influencing, engaging, and building a relationship with key stakeholders across numerous platforms in order to shape and frame the public perception of an organization. So remember when I first started reading, I said, remember those keywords. What do we mean by influencing? What does the term influencing mean?
Does anybody understand? Does anybody know what influencing means?
I know what it means, but I just forgot what it means.
Oh, Farah has a good answer. Farah says to make an impact.
Yeah, but not quite. Do they know the word persuade?
Persuade. Does anybody know to? Oh wait, Althea says to make you think a certain way. Ooh, that's
precisely. Yeah, that is it. That is it.
Oh yay! So Althea said to convince.
To convince. Let's get, and this can be in your face convincing or just in passing, right? So let's give an example. When you're watching your favorite TV program, right? And there's an advert for the latest toy or product. And a week later, you go to the store with your parents and you see the shiny toy and you remember that you saw it on the ad. And then you go to your parent and say, can I get this toy because blah, blah, you tell all the features, right? So they influence you to influence your parent to buy that product. So I hope that brings the meaning home to you guys.
Hold on. Let's just ask the kids, do you guys understand now? I think a lot of you have typed in what you understand, what is an influencer and what is persuading. Does everybody understand what Miss Kristina just said about what influence is and how they persuade you,
They're right.
Hi, can you see me? What happened here? Oh, sorry. Something knocked me out. How they persuade you to pick a certain product or a certain brand or a certain toy. Does everybody understand that? Kind of. Yep, says Anne, kind of.
They will get it more as we go along.
Persuades you to buy items in the game. Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So the public relations person is about that persuasion then, or influencing, right? So what about engagement? What does that word mean? Do you know the word engagement?
Oh.
Althea says to be involved with something. Mickey says.
I was gonna say somebody engaged or get engaged.
Oh, that's when you're getting married. Yeah.
Isn't that with something?
Yeah, that's the word engaged. Yes.
Oh.
To participate, says Savannah and Sanaya. To be involved in something, says Anne.
Okay, exactly it. Let's give an example, Stacy. So on social media, when somebody makes a post and you see others comment underneath, they do a thumbs up, they do hit the like button, that's engagement. They're participating in the process. Okay? So what about relationship? That's another key term. Relationship in this sense, building a relationship.
When you're like have a good relationship with someone, or like you're good with something or someone.
So you're getting there. So
Jenna says a connection with someone. Raheem says to bond with someone, making a positive contact from Farah.
Yeah, that's it. So I have create an ongoing connection.
Perfect.
Yeah. So this is the textbook kind of definition that we would find in our textbook, but I have something very interesting. So these are two parents who are PR professionals, and this is what they tell their kids what they do. So I think this is gonna be very easy to understand. So Sarah, she says, I describe myself as someone who helps companies by telling their cool, interesting, and important stories to the world. The process is usually the part that is confusing. So you can back it up by saying, see the cool photo on the website? I sent that to them, or that sort. And Stacy, I'm going to use you as example. So
okay.
Stacy recently came on a TV program and her daughter, the Marlene Dennis Show. So as a PR person, what I did, I helped Stacy to submit the right information to the Marlene Dennis Show to get her on the TV. So that's the simplest example of what a PR person does, okay? But
does everybody understand that? Hold on, sorry.
Sorry.
Does everybody understand what a PR person does?
Mm-hmm.
Can you type that in the chat box for me, please? Sorry, Jenna, can you please retype your question? I'm sorry, sweetie, I must have missed it. So let me just see what the kids said with the other question.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them say yes, but most of them say kind of or no. Could you make it?
And explanation will be, I think, will hit the nail on the head for them. So Ian is another parent that is a PR professional, right? And he says, you know, in school, when you have to convince a bunch of people like your parents, your teachers, your classmates, that you have a really cool and exciting idea, like a field trip or a class project, to get them to do what you want, or at least try, you have to gain their attention with information that gets them excited. Even when some of them are not totally excited at the start, you might use different ways to get that information to them, like using the public address system, or a poster, or a letter to your parents, or Facebook postings, or a class presentation. So is that a little bit clearer, Stacy?
Let's see. Guys, can you let me know in the chat? Are we understanding what public relations is and what a PR person does? That makes a lot of sense, says Jenna. Yeah. All the kids, Micah says yes. Yeah. Everybody gives you a thumbs up. Good to go.
Good to go. So in the textbook, both in the textbook definition and the definition from the parents, they all had common themes. So one of the common theme is management function. That means that public relations comes from the top of the organization. Also, public relations is deliberate and intentional, meaning that it is a planned activity. It's not by chance, it is planned. Some might argue that not all is planned if you have a crisis. So say, let me give you an example of a crisis. So say, let's use another school example. The children had a pizza lunch day and there was some food poisoning and some kids had to be rushed to the hospital, right? So that's a crisis communication. How will the parent, how will the principal, the school board communicate that to all the stakeholders, the parents, the wider community, the different ministries, government, etc. But with communication, because it's planned, the PR person would have a response already typed up and just be tweaked to adjust to the situation. So at all times, remember that it has to be planned. There is a plan. Another thing is public relations must be a part of the decision-making process in any organization. It's designed again to influence, we spoke about this, to gain understanding, to provide information, and at the same time, secure a response from persons affected by the activity. So those are the common themes that we learn about in PR. Any questions? This is more to just to confirm what we just spoke about earlier.
Okay. So this is what a PR person does.
Yeah, we're gonna, so it's a lot. So I'm just gonna go through a few of them, and what I've done is to break down 4 to give you exact concrete examples of 4. So these are functions of a PR practitioner. So our PR person offers counseling at times to advice to management. So for example, when the crisis happens, the PR person has to speak to management so that they can come up with a full plan to not just respond at the moment, but how to deal with any event. So say, for example, sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
So can you, okay, Leila, I will get back to your question about what exactly is public relations, okay? I think that's your question. So I will put it in the chat box for you. Good stuff. All right. So for example, like here, we have daily briefings from our government officials to tell us what is happening through the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
a PR person be responsible for typing up the communications or to advise what to communicate? Is that the
Yes, so
counseling?
yeah, that's exactly it. So they would not just type it up, because something like that would need a big response. Remember that different ministries, you have things going on, the long-term care home, you have the education, the health aspect. So they would help to coordinate the information from all sources and then put it in one document that the minister or the government official can speak to it every day or every week, or often they disseminate the information.
I get it.
Can we move on to the other point?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, so next to counseling, they also have to do a lot of research. And because they have to make sure that the information as best as possible that they're providing to their different audiences, such as the public, to know what's going on with COVID is correct. So they have to do a lot of research. And the research also extends to if what they're doing is going right? So if things are not reaching the public in the right way, then the research would let them know how to fix that. So say, for example, maybe after a while, I think Doug Ford used to do the daily briefings, right? Up until, was it March of this year? So it worked for 1 year, but then they stepped back. You have other persons doing the briefing, but he stepped back from doing it. So maybe research told them that people had enough information about that now to move on to something else. Then we come to media relations. So media relations is basically trying to get, as Stacey said before, publicity for either your product or your endeavor, whatever you're doing. So you have to send information to a journalist. That's a person who writes for a paper, somebody that works on TV, radio, etc., and send them a story. And if they like the story, they will publish the story. It means it will come out on their media outlet.
So speaking about that, Miss Kristina,
Okay.
Afia wants to clarify. So the PR people gather the information and research it and then send it to the people with a platform to give the news to the public. Is that correct?
Sort
of?
Yeah, it's 90%. It's not that it's not correct, but sometimes the media people also do the talking of the information. It just depends. She's correct.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah,
so this is a long list, but what I did, I broke down, and we're concentrating on 4 PR types of PR.
Okay.
So let's do.
Sorry. So we have until 6. I know, Layla, I think this presentation may be a little fast for you. So if you can hang on, let's get to the end of the presentation, and then what you didn't understand, you can watch back on our YouTube channel. For anybody that didn't necessarily understand, you can watch it back on our YouTube channel to maybe get further clarification, okay? Or send me a message after, and then I'll help clarify, okay?
Or do some research.
Just because I know when we get to 6 o'clock, everybody gets antsy and says, Miss Stacy, what time are we ending today? Okay. Sorry, Miss Kristina, go ahead. So I'm just going to talk about 4 PRs, types of PRs. So corporate. So a while ago, we showed the logos of McDonald's and all those big companies. Those are corporate organizations. So in those organizations, communications or PR refers to internal, meaning within the organization, and external, meaning how they communicate to you and your parents and other stakeholders. They communicate about their brand to different audiences, and they have these big organizations, they have a lot of audiences to build different messages for.
So that's corporate communication. For nonprofit, how they use PR. Do you know what a nonprofit organization is?
Do you know what a nonprofit is? No. Does any of the kids know what a nonprofit is? Raheem, I'll get to your statement in a second. Yes, says Althea.
Oh,
no,
wait.
says Layla. God's will says no. Nope.
Or let's clarify what a nonprofit is.
Please.
So nonprofit, they do things for the good of the community, and they do it for free. So providing housing for the homeless, food for persons who don't have any food. Some also do things towards people who maybe have cancer and so on. So they're a goodwill organization. They don't make any profit. They do things and they get money from people who give money to them, called donors. So they have a different type of public relations. Their public relations is to help to increase knowledge about what they're doing, right? And they also want to show the donors that give them money what they're doing with that money. So that's a function of the PR person, to make them look good to the public, to say, hey, we fed 100 people in 90 days. I don't know, to show that they're really using the funds in the best way and the way that they said that they would. So that's nonprofit PR.
Perfect. I like Athea's answer. She says it might get paid, like, so the nonprofit might get paid, or donors, right?
Yeah.
This is the money to provide for the public. So usually for the greater good, which is awesome. So that's a great answer there, Althea.
So for media relations now, we spoke about that. So media relations is an aspect of PR that focus solely on building relationships with journalists, broadcasters, so those people who come on the radio, bloggers, influencers, we know them on YouTube and Instagram, in order to secure media coverage, in order for them to cover information about a person or a product or even a place. So that's media relations. While social media communications is, of course, social media is a natural fit for PR and can be used to protect and promote an organization's reputation and gain immediate positive results. So positive reputation meaning that when they're doing good, people can see that they're doing good. That's what it basically means. Social media is used by PR pros or professionals to make company announcements, respond swiftly to, I'm going to answer you soon, swiftly to any negative stories in real time, to protect the interests of the brand or the organization. Yes, Stacy.
So I like Raheem's answer to this. So he says public relations is just like putting KiddieNomics on TikTok for more people to register and join us here. So it can become as big as a corporate thing, which is awesome.
He's getting it. Thank you. He's getting it. He's weaving it into his everyday life. That's good.
Right? Oh, that's awesome. So that's a great answer there, Raheem. Akira has a question for you. She wants to know, so PR is a company? Is it a company? Is it a person?
So PR can be many things. So PR, most big companies have an internal department that does public relations. So sometimes you have one person working there, especially for nonprofits that don't have a lot of money, would have like one person, and big organization, they would have like maybe 5 doing different aspects of PR. And then you also have agencies, meaning a company by itself that work with different clients to do public relations. Did that answer the question?
Does that answer the question? Did that answer the question there, Akira? Can you let me know in the chat box? She'll let me know in the chat box, so don't worry. Keep going. If she doesn't understand, let me see if that was her. So what's PR? So what's PR? So she wants to know, so I think we kind of reviewed PR a few times, Akira. So, okay, so maybe Miss Christina, Can you just give us like a one sentence, what is PR for a few of the kids that are still not understanding what is PR? Is there a way that you can?
So public relations, right, is matching a message to an audience for the greater good of an organization.
Get it?
Work?
Yes. Mickey says she got it. Does everybody else get it in the chat box? Can you let me know? Akira, did you get it? Okay, understood, says Hazat. I get it, says Raheem. Yes, says Janaya. God's will says yes. Now I get it, says Farah. Yay. All right, Layla, I think you should watch back this episode and hopefully maybe it will help you. If not, then you can always send me more questions after, okay? So sending a message. I'm not sure what the question is there, Akira. Okay, good stuff, Layla. All right, so Miss Christina, you can go on.
Okay. So the PR process. So all of what we just spoke about, we just have it in a simple diagram. So in general, it starts with research. Everybody seeing the research at the top? So the research would be, let's break down the research. So the research would be, might be using tools to find out information. Say like a survey. A company might run a survey to find information about, like say they would have like, all right, let's use this example. Like there's a new toy coming out, right? And they carry 100 kids to test what they like about the toy, what they don't like, the colors, the functionality of it, how it works, and so on. From that information, they would then use it to either improve the toy, but then when it comes on to getting the message out there, suppose when for the survey, they say to the kids, how do you, how much time do you spend on TikTok? Just for example, per day. How much time do you spend on Facebook, right? They ask them, because they know that young people are on social media, and say TikTok comes up on top, they would then target the message on TikTok instead of Facebook, because those kids are not on Facebook. So that's one example of a kind of research that a PR person would do before they go on. So public relations, in order to do it and do it right, the PR person has to know their audience. And different messages work for different audience. What will work for you as a child will work differently for your parents. So sometimes, as I said in my previous example about watching a program and then seeing an advert, sometimes people target you to target your parents. They know what to do. And this comes a lot of time from research. Then after they do all this research and they know what they want to do, they come here and they come up with some kind of action plan. How are they going to get it out there? What are they going to do? Are they going to do videos? Are they going to get other like child stars, like actors to maybe talk about the product? Are you getting it, Stacy? Are the kids getting it?
Let me just see. So Althea says, so people collect research to see which place is the best place to market. Is that correct?
Precisely.
Perfect. Perfect. Jenna wants to know, sorry, Jenna, I was getting back to, can you go back to your the slide before for 1 second?
Okay. This one?
Yes, I think she just wants to take a snapshot of it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right, Jenna. Perfect. Take a picture. All right. Okay, so you can go back. Okay, so Jenna says she's good. So Anne says sort of. So I get first, and then they find out what age group they're after, and then they'll gather what age group does the most to know
Exactly, age group, all of those things, different factors would be based on the needs of the product or the organization. So whatever the age group, should they just target the parents? Where should they do it? Should they put on a billboard? Should they do a stunt to try and go viral? Should they share it with influencers? So research usually informs what should take place here. So of course, after they gather all that information, they have to put it into action. So they finalize the plan and then put it in action. And then in terms of communication, now this would be the places that we alluded to before. So the TikTok, the newspaper, although those kind of things are not necessarily dead, but traditional media is not as effective as social media right now. Then we move along to evaluation. So an important part of a public relations person's job is to find out if it worked. Because if it doesn't work, then it's not going to have the impact that is desired. So there are two types of evaluation, one that you do at the end and one that you do during the process. I prefer the one that you do during the process because it will be built into the communication aspect, because if it's not working, you can change some things and adjust before you reach to the end.
Have a clarify this process. So the research, Jen, I'll get to your question shortly. So the research is the phase that you're going to find out if you, let's just say you want to sell a comic book, right? So let's just say you made a comic book. So you want to first research what is the best place to sell your comic book. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then from your research, you're then going to then put that research into action and say, okay, you've now maybe figured out that selling your comic book on Instagram, because that's where your audience is for this special type of comic book is from. So you're now going to maybe advertise on Instagram, and you're
but 1 minute, Stacy. So advertising can be a form of PR, but it is slightly different than public relations. Public relations is usually free. Usually. That makes sense? So even if you want it on Instagram, what you might do is to reach out to influencers that have strong, maybe they like comics, I don't know, and say to them, hey, I'm just starting out as a whatever, could you just share my work? And you send them a copy and they share it. See the difference? And you do your regular posting, but you can pay under PR, but usually it's a free, it's not paid. That's the difference between, and I do talk about the difference between advertising and public relations further down. Is that clear for you guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. Savannah says yes. Raheem says, yep, much better. Perfect.
Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide.
Yes, we have a few more minutes, Miss Christina, so you may have to wrap up.
Okay.
Yes, we finish at 6.
How much more minutes we have? Tell me. 2 tools.
I have less than 10 because I need 5 minutes to do a wrap up in general.
Okay. All right. So guys, these are the public relation tools, but we have talked about some of them already on the list. So let me talk about special events. So sometimes public relations persons keep events, and now that we have moved on to online events, just what Stacy is doing, right? So some people use special events, social media, traditional media, as I said, radio, newspapers, what we used to do in the past, right? So out of these key terms, I'm going to talk about press release and Publix. So press release. So press release is a news announcement usually put out by a representative of a company, an organization, or an individual. So remember we said the PR person needs to get information out there about a company. They would come up with a press release. So say when Stacy launched KiddieNomics, that's a big thing, right? Trying to get kids to be financially literate. So we do an announcement of that and send it to the media for them to cover it. So that's a press release. And targets, we spoke about audiences, and the same thing as public and targets. So anybody that has something to do with either your product, your organization, your company, that is your product. Whoever is going to be impacted by your product and your organization, that's your Publix. Can they read this? Can you send this to them afterwards, or they can watch it, you said?
Yes. But if you'd like to send me a copy of the presentation, if you're linked to it, then I will upload the presentation as a link in the description of the video on our YouTube channel.
Okay, definitely. So let's do this one quickly. How to get PR?
Yes.
The public relations person, they have to do a lot of planning. I know we have been talking about that word, but it's very important. Plan ahead and find the right media. So find the right people that you want to send. So for example, for newspapers, you have editors, those are people that receive the information that deal with a particular subject. So find those subject matter, if you want to say experts, that when you're sending them information about KiddieNomics, they publish information about finances, right? You don't want to send your press release to a sportscaster because he will put it in the bin. So they have to plan ahead and find the right people to connect to, and have a media kit ready. So the media kit would involve a background about the company or the product, and of course the press release, and might be a bio about the company official or so, or if it's a project. And then you have to create publicity. You have to do things. Think about what events you can put on to get some publicity around it. Or if you're having so much impact, you have to get it out there. And finally, you have to write newsworthy stories, things that will sell, so to speak. So those are some of the ways you can get public relations.
So you would have to do all four of those things really to get publicity for your what you're trying to get out there, right?
Yes.
4 steps
yes.
you need to date. Awesome.
Yeah. Let's just do this example, Stacy.
Okay.
This is a case study. Everybody knows about Barbie. So an agency did this campaign for Mattel, and Mattel makes Barbie dolls. So Barbie has been a staple in children's lives since 1959. That's a long time. At Mattel, along with Ketchum, which was the agency, they wanted to use Barbie's brand power by having the public choose her 126th career. Over 1 million people voted. You remember we talked about a survey? So they sent out something for engagement for persons to vote on what Barbie's career should be next. And a lot of persons voted for a computer engineering Barbie. So in a campaign mixing the public's love of Barbie with the movement to empower girls, in an inspired touch, the Society of Women Engineers, they created the Barbie's look. So you see the level of engagement there in this PR campaign. And that PR campaign not only engaged those 1 million people who voted, they got coverage. And by coverage, we mean mention where they appeared. They were in CNN, which is very big. They were in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, etc. So it got a lot of coverage. And we're at, we won't do that one. And we're at, do you have questions?
Perfect. That was good. That was very good, Miss Kristina.
A lot of details.
Thank you.
There's a lot of details. I think this is it's a really good topic, and it can be a very complicated topic because a lot of the kids have not heard about what like.
Yeah. I guess if they hear it over and over.
Yes, like now that they've been exposed to it through you, which is amazing. They will have a better understanding when that comes up, which is amazing.
Should I stop sharing? Sorry, that you can.
Yeah, you can stop sharing, and I'll ask the kids. I'll ask the kids if anybody else has any questions for Miss Kristina. I know a few of you. Oh, where did my questions go? Okay, here we go. Let me just see. My mind is blown from Layla.
You know what, Stacey?
Awesome.
You should have me on again in the summer to kind of bring it.
I would love to have you back on in the summer because I think the kids need, I was saying to the kids, we're going to have another session on this because I think they need another one, like a part 2 to really pull it all together.
Yeah,
so
sorry,
if you have you back on in the summer, I would love that, right? So we'll plan a day for you in the end of July or in August, and we'll have you
in August,
yeah. So that would be perfect. So let me just see. Jenna says, I understand now. Thank you so much. Let me just see. So Althea says surveys is engaging with them, with the public, and they're engaging with the public to research to make sure that their marketing is better. Is that correct?
Yeah, in this case, because there are different tools, but that was a tool that Mattel and the agency used. Yeah. So they did a survey.
Perfect. Sorry, Jalicia. I apologize. Jalicia says you did a wonderful job. So thank you. Let me just see if there's anything else. Akira, okay, Akira and who else? Linda, do you guys have questions? Type it in the chat box for me, please. Farah says, OMG, so much fun. Thank you for coming. Yay.
Thank you.
Althea says, I understand this topic so well now. I didn't even know what PR was before this. Now I understand perfectly. Thank you so much. That is awesome.
Tell her that she's been puritized, but she didn't even know.
That's so awesome. So I'm so happy you guys, a lot of you guys did get it. If not, that's okay. Like I said, please watch back the YouTube video. I think once you watch it back and you could just focus on the video, a lot of the answers and deeper understanding will come. If not, don't worry. As Miss Kristina has now volunteered, she'll be back on KiddieNomics to help us get an even deeper understanding of PR. So thank you. So we're gonna wrap up because I have a few more minutes. So let's give Miss Kristina again her round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, and stay on with us, please, Miss Kristina, while I just share my screen and wrap up with the kitties. Let's just see what we have. All right. So final question that I ask every KiddieNomics webinar for everybody that's been on KiddieNomics for quite some time is, what would happen if kids became more financially literate? And our answer is
real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world. And why do we say this? It's because, listen, financial literacy affects every part of your life, no matter what you want to do or where you want to be, even down to the food that you eat, it affects you. And so therefore, whatever it is that you choose to be, whether or not you're going to cure cancer or help us with the environment, financial literacy will help you get there. So I just know that you kids on KiddieNomics, you guys are going to do amazing things. And you guys, 20 years from now, you're going to be whatever it is, and you're going to stop me and you're going to say, you know, I learned so much and it helped me so much. And that's all we want to hear, which is so absolutely amazing. And so that's why we call you guys our Young Financial Literacy Ambassadors, right?
Yeah.
Because what is an ambassador? An ambassador is there as a messenger or representative. And you guys are amazing. You guys go out there and you share KiddieNomics to the world, and you tell your family and your friends and your community at large what you've learned on KiddieNomics. You tell it to your parents. How do I know? Because I get the messages from your parents that tell me so much about what, you know, how it has affected your family and the difference that it's made in your lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And because of that, like we always say here on KiddieNomics, that knowledge is our
superpower.
So literally, the more that you share it, the stronger that you will become, okay? All right, let's get into our schedule coming up for the remaining weeks of June. I have to change that because Brittany's going to be on KiddieNomics in July. So we are going to have next week, we're going to talk to Aziz Garuba, and he's going to talk to us about podcasting. So I know, Lena says, Mickey's going to be the boss of KiddieNomics in a long time. You're absolutely right.
So 1 second. So podcasting is a tool. Oh, wait.
Oh, yes, there you go. Let's tie that in. That's absolutely right. So podcasting is a tool of PR, right? So podcasting, I know that there's a couple of kids already on here that have their own podcasts. Or maybe you guys are interested in starting your own podcast because, hey, you guys like to talk, and which is amazing. So we're going to talk about podcasting next week. And that should be really fun because we're going to talk about the different platforms and how you can necessarily start making money through podcasting. So that's going to be a really fun one. And then the last week of June, which is going to be June 25th, we're going to have on Mr. Corey Sherwood, which is amazing. We're going to talk about Facebook ads. So Facebook is the largest platform to do ads on, which is another tool of PR, right? Right, Miss Christina?
Right. Everything is connected.
Everything is connected. So as you guys can see, all these different things, I have different topics every week, but they all get really connected. So we're going to talk about Facebook ads. And so Corey is a director at Facebook, which is amazing. So he's going to tell us and show us really how to create great Facebook ads on Facebook, which some of you may not have access to, but that's okay.
And that's on Leia's birthday.
That's okay. Yes, and that is my other daughter's birthday. All right. So, of course, we always want to hear from you. We always want to know your ideas, topics. I think Hazet asked me, you know, how do I get different experts on each week? And I'm going to say a lot of work. A lot of work to get all these experts on each week, but I thank each expert for sharing their knowledge with KiddieNomics, because you guys email me, you guys send me messages and tell me a topic that you guys want to learn about. And so I go out there and try to find you an expert that will come on KiddieNomics and discuss that topic and share that knowledge, which is amazing. So please keep on sending me your ideas. Tell me what you want to learn, as long as it's financial literacy related. Then I'll find somebody that will come on KiddieNomics and teach you guys, which is amazing. You can always contact me at KiddieNomics101@gmail.com. And then please, if you find our information valuable, please like and follow us on
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
You gotta talk louder so they can hear you. Sorry.
Do that? Oh. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Okay, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. We finally started our TikTok account. Like, I mean, well, we've had it for over a year, Miss Christina, but we've actually posted a video. We actually have another video that I gotta post. And was great because another one of our KiddieNomics kitties helped us do the video, which is amazing. So thank you, Raheem. And so we'll post that second video.
Please comment, not just follow you guys, comment. Remember, engagement.
Oh, that's right. So please like, follow us, and comment on our videos on any one of our platforms.
Give reviews that other people can see it.
Yes. See, you can tell that Miss Christina is a PR person. And then Miss Christina, a couple of the kids and a parent had asked me about your book. So I'm going to put the information about your book in our description on this video and a
Oh,
link
that's
to
nice.
it,
Thank you.
right? So that anybody, if anybody's interested in Miss Christina's book, which is amazing, you can all go back and get a copy of it. And all of that will be in the description of the of this video. So let me just see before we wrap up. Althea says, I really appreciate you taking your time to teach us about financial literacy. You're helping us learn about stuff they don't teach us in school, and it's important to learn. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me just see. Layla says, I will comment. So all you guys are saying thank you. All right. So thank you again to Miss Christina. You guys all have a wonderful week. I will see you next week when we talk about podcasting. Have a fabulous week and bye. All right, let me stop sharing.
Bye, Stacy. Do you have the information for the book, right? No?
No, so hang on. I'm just gonna end this.